Doing?
Hey, my friend, how's it going today?
All right, now we haven't taken care of any business for a long time, so I want you to say hello to the people and tell them whatever you want to tell them.
Hello, Macon County, and hello to everybody that's out there listening today. We're here today with my friend, Mr. Clark here, Charles Clark, and we're going to talk about this new mounted police division we'll start here at the Macon County Sheriff Office.
Whose idea, Sheriff?
Well, this has been something in the making since I have been sheriff. Back in 2015 when I became sheriff, I've always wanted to have a mounted police. I've always wanted to have some horses here in the division. And then I guess me and Mr. Clark started talking about it, I guess about a month ago, and he showed a lot of interest. So I said, you know what, it might be a good time to do it now. So here we are.
Well, all right then. What purpose can such a unit fulfill?
Well, horses can be very valuable, and I'm gonna tease about this, especially since the gas prices are so high right now. But definitely, really, the horses can be valuable because we do a lot of search and rescue. We do a lot of that here in Macon County, and they would definitely help. Out in these woods, out in national forests where we have a lot of people that go missing, a lot of people that get lost and things like that. They would definitely also help with crowd control and different things. They just help in so many ways.
Sir, what sparked your interest in the conversation with the sheriff?
I've always had a love for horses since I was a boy. I've always been fascinated by black cowboy culture and our placement in the cowboy culture historically, us actually being the original cowboys. And I have a couple sons that the sheriff hired, and they're working with him, and I became very impressed with what they told me about how he practices law enforcement and treatment of people. And so it just kind of brought some things together. I had a conversation with him at an event, the sheriff, and he invited me down, and that's been it from there.
Now, you mentioned cowboy culture.
Yes.
You guys got some mean hats over there.
Yeah.
And I want you to don these hats in the house, even though my grandmama said you're not supposed to have your hat on.
I like my cowboy hat, and I like my cowboy boots.
Oh, you got the boots to go with it?
I got the boots to go with it, yeah. But, man, definitely I like the cowboy culture, and I think it's going to help the county in many ways. I was talking about, the search and rescue. I'm talking about crowd control. I'm talking about saving gas. I'm talking about being visible in the community. I'm also talking about helping the kids in the community. We have a lot of people in the community, a lot of kids in the community that are very interested in horses. We might strike the interest of a young man who's not traditionally wanting to be a police officer, but because of the horses, he might want to get into our group because we have horses. Mm-hmm. He might take some pride in that. He might take some pride and say, hey, I want to do that. I can be that. I can be like a Buffalo Soldier. I can be like one of the Tuskegee Airmen that's in a great group, of young men that's doing something good for the community and doing something for society. That might be a job for a young man here in the stables when we get our horses going in our horse stable. Anything to keep our young men out of trouble, anything to strike up a great interest in what we are doing would definitely help our community. And I'm just excited about it. I'm excited about being here with Charles and, getting some more cowboys. And I'm not just going to say black cowboys, because I don't care if you white, black, purple, or green. If you got an interest in horses, you got an interest in helping our community, you can be one of us. And I'm definitely proud to say that.
Yes.
I saw a Facebook crack, Sheriff, on you and your gadgets. You got motorcycles, you got four-wheelers, you got trucks, you got buses. What do you say to people who don't understand the necessity of being prepared in all areas in law enforcement?
Well, in today's day and age, if you're not prepared for what might happen, it's just shame on you. It's not shame on me because I care about my community. It's not shamed on me that I want my department to be the best department ever. It's not shamed on me that I want to be prepared for anything that might happen to my community. Here in Tuskegee, anything might happen, just as anything happens in today's society anywhere. So if I can't help the people in my community, I don't need to be the sheriff. You know, you got your haters out there to say, why do we have an armored vehicle? I mean, common sense tell you why we have an armored vehicle. People say, why do you buy guns? I mean, common sense tell you why we might have guns. That's just like asking the army, why are they getting prepared for war? You never know what might happen and what's going to happen. You just better be prepared for it. And to me, it's just plain ignorance not to be prepared, you know, for anything that might happen to save this community. And I bet you the people in Texas and everywhere else thought that this might not happen.
Absolutely.
You know, with people storming the schools.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get caught with my pants down to where I can't help the kids in the schools, the people in this community when something happens. And we're in a prime place that something might and could happen. I'm going to be prepared for it. So, you know, I'm always going to have haters out there that says, why this, why that, but I'm going to have the last smile on my face when I'm here to protect my community.
Sheriff, you know, I got the notion that Macon County, Alabama, if a fool went into our school with a gun, that we would not allow him to be able to shoot 100 times over 77 minutes without taking some decisive action. Am I correct about that, or am I wrong?
You're definitely correct about that. You know, we train all the time at the schools. We talk about this all the time at our meetings. You know, you got to get there and eliminate the threat, whether you by yourself or you with a partner. You know, that's the way we train. You can't wait on a group of people to get there. And that's why, with the question you asked me before, it works hand in hand. We gonna be prepared to deal with any situation. You know, right now, you know, guys that are out for no good, the criminals are better prepared than most of the police stations here.
Absolutely.
You know, better prepared than most of the law enforcement around. And law enforcement have to up their game to deal with the criminals today. And we have upped our game, and we will continue to up our game with these vehicles and these weapons that we have to make sure that we go home to our families too. You know, we can't be out there shooting bows and arrows and they got guns. That's just not gonna happen. That's not gonna end well for law enforcement. And I have a commitment to my guys to be prepared, to put them out there with the best equipment so they can succeed in what they're doing, because we're not just law enforcement officers. We're dads, we're fathers, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're husbands, we're wives, we're everything. And we have families too. So to put my guys out there in a negative environment or a compromising position without guns, weapons, and armor, it's just crazy for me to do that, and I refuse to do that with my department and my people. So we're gonna be prepared. We're gonna be ready for anything that happens.
All right, now, what inspired you to want to be connected with the sheriff's department?
Actually, it was a conversation I had with one of my sons, and he mentioned to me the treatment. My sons, who works for the sheriff, two have been deputized. One is down at the academy now. The sheriff sent him down to get trained. And he mentioned to me the high standard of treatment that the sheriff affords to everybody he deals with, in particular the inmates. And having a sister who worked for many years in the corrections department in New York City, and the terrible history they have of abuse of inmates up there, I found that very intriguing when he told me that the sheriff demands that you show respect and dignity even to his inmates. And so I began to observe a little closer, and I see that the sheriff has a commitment to firm, compassionate law enforcement. And having come out of New York City, that's something I'm not accustomed to seeing, is people in uniform showing the citizens that level of respect and care. So I wanted to be a part of that.
Well, your son certainly did not lie to you, because this is the first sheriff I've ever seen in my 50 years of law enforcement that had a chicken checkpoint where he stopped traffic and checked people to see if they wanted some chicken.
That's
and then provided a whole trailer of chicken to several community of people. So your son didn't lie to you.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know,
Sheriff,
definitely.
tell me, Sheriff, what motivate that kind of attitude within you about service to the people?
I can simply say I love people. I can just simply say I love people. You know, some people are less fortunate than others, and if I can help anybody, I'm willing to help anybody, whether it's giving out chicken food, whether it's passing out water, whether it's doing anything, passing out toys to the kids. I just love to see people smiling. I love to help people. I just love people. And that's the way I treat my sheriff department. That's the way I treat my people. That's the way I treat my inmates. And that's the way I treat people that I come in contact with.
Well, now you must be telling the truth too, because David Cruz walked through here, headed from Pennsylvania to Miami, Florida.
Yes.
You now tell me, from deep down in your core, what motivated you or inspired you to get out there and walk 30 miles of that journey?
Man, boy, that was a hard 30 miles.
Have you figured it out?
Man, it was hot those 2 days, but man, when I met David, he was just such a wonderful person. And he was walking for the right reason. He's walking to bring unity to everybody that he comes in contact with. He's on a faith walk for God. And when I met David, one of my officers called me and told me David was about to enter our county. And my thing was to help David, offer him a place to take a shower, offer him some food, a place to spend the night. And David turned me down. Mm-hmm. He didn't want anything from anybody. And I just couldn't believe that, walking from Pennsylvania, and he didn't even want a place to rest. He didn't even want a bottle of water. So I told my officer to tell David I'm coming to meet him. I want to talk to this young man and see what's really going on. When I got out there, he told me his purpose, and he told me why he was doing it, and I understood. And I said, wow, that's powerful. And I said, I need to be a leader. I need to be somebody like him that's willing to bring togetherness to my community. My community needs this love. My community needs God. My community needs all the different things and everything that he stood for. So I said, I'm going to walk as far as I can with this young man to provide some unity for my community. And that's why it started. That's why I walked those 30 miles.
I have another curiosity, Sheriff. Why did that off-duty deputy take an interest in David Cruz in the first place? He didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to do that. And I don't know why he called me, and I was up in Lee County at the time. Actually, at the doctor's office. I was up in Lee County at the doctor's office getting out of an appointment. And I don't know why he took that initiative to do that. And he called me and asked me if I knew who David Cruz was. And I said, I've heard of the name, but I just couldn't place. He said, that's the guy that's walking. I said, oh, yeah. But he took a very big interest, and he said, Sheriff, you need to see this guy, man. He's doing it for a good reason. So I said, I'm coming. I'm thankful that that officer did that. Officer Morgan did that. So I'm just thankful that he did that. And he started a great thing because he hooked me up with David, and David has been hooked up with me, and we've hooked up with you and a lot of other people that's on this journey with David. And David is doing great right now. He's still walking.
Still walking.
Still walking. And he's doing great and doing some great things.
That's right. Well, that says something about you and that officer, because he is carrying on the spirit that you have established in this department, that you need to care.
Right, need to care, definitely.
All right.
And I definitely won't have an officer that don't care about the community. We all have different things going on, and I don't have a perfect department. I don't think anybody has a perfect department, but we strive to do the best we can, especially for our community.
All right. Now, where are you guys going to take this horse patrol, I'll call it, and what are you going to call it technically?
Well, I think the sheriff, I've heard him use two terms. One is Macon County Sheriff's Office Mounted Unit and Mounted Squad. So that's up to the sheriff, whichever one he want to go with.
Where you going to go with the sheriff?
Well, look, I'm going to show you something here.
I'll overlay it.
That we came up with. And right here it says the Mounted Unit of Macon County. And my dream is to start out with 6 full-time officers that can be here for the mounted police, the mounted squad, mounted deputies, and we're going to work our way up to 10. And what we're doing, we're taking donations, we're getting grant money and doing things like that, and we're trying to raise enough money to take care of this unit for 5 years. And once we get there, we'll try to do another 5 years. But as I've spoke about this, as Charles has spoke about this, we have had some negative comments. some crazy comments like, why are we doing this and we're not fixing the roads? Well, to you people that say crazy things like that, the sheriff don't fix roads. The sheriff don't get money to fix roads. That's up to somebody else. I've never used any amount of taxpayers' money to do any of these things that I'm doing, not even to buy vehicles. I use my money that I get from a source, especially the dog track, which I get a stipend from them operating. That's where my money comes from. I don't even take the money that the county commission offers, to deal with what we are doing, the motorcycles, the cars, anything which is supposed to be handled by the county commission and taxpayers' money. But I don't use any of that to do any of these things. I use my money out of my department to do this, so that money can go elsewhere to help people in the community and the county. So all this foolishness about using your money and fixing roads and things like that, don't no sheriff department in America use money to fix roads. That's crazy for you to say. But learn about what's going on at the sheriff department before you try to talk negative about what we're doing, because everything we try to do is positive for everybody in the community. And we're going to continue to strive to be the best for our community. And assure you none of this money is your taxpayer money.
And then plus the fact those horses can go a lot of places and do a lot of things that your four-wheelers and other vehicles couldn't go anyhow, right?
Can't do. That's right. And this is definitely an advantage to have these horses here in the community, in the counties. And what we plan on doing, we're going to have, horse trailers. These guys will have access to horse trailers so we can go out in these communities, park, get out on the horses and patrol these communities. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna do that, how many hours in each community we're gonna spend, how many days in each community. This is gonna be for the whole county. I'm not crazy to sit here and say that when we get a call, we're gonna break out of here on horseback and ride all the way down to Short, Alabama, or ride down, and that's not what this is for. We're gonna have these horses out in the communities, patrolling the community, but they're gonna get there by trailer. And then we'll get out and patrol the communities, which is going to work out well. But the biggest advantage is these search and rescue, crowd controls, and things like that. And
even parades.
Even parades.
In communities.
Even parades, which will help tremendously. And a lot of people are afraid of horses. So when you bring a horse up and you're dealing in crowd control situations and things like that, it is definitely an advantage. It's definitely an advantage when we have people, escapees and things like that. So it's definitely an advantage when we have search missions where we have to go and search for people, and rescue missions. And we have a lot of national forests here in Macon County that we have to patrol, which these horses will be a lot better patrolling than these cars. And they can definitely go places that these cars and these trucks can't go. So it'll definitely be an advantage. And also, I want to strike the interest of our youth. I want to give them something to be proud of and give them something to want to be a part of. Want to be a part of something great in the community. So hopefully we can save some of our youth with these horses, because we got a lot of young cowboys out in these communities. We got a lot of people that like horses and love horses in these communities. So that might strike up the interest of some of these youth and keep them out of trouble. And if this goes well, I will start a youth division with these horses, a youth patrol, to where we can help and train these young men to have something to do and something to be proud of.
Okay, well that satisfies my curiosity. Now, tell the people what you want to tell them, since you were sitting up by the high sheriff and you become a part of the sheriff's department. What do you want the people to know as a newcomer to law enforcement?
I want the people to know the importance of having pride in what you do, having pride in your community. You don't have to be deputized or have a badge to be a first responder, so to speak. Everyone has a role in protecting the place we live and keeping it safe and peaceful, and reporting anything you see which is suspicious to a professional, reporting to the sheriff's office, to the different police departments, and getting involved. But more so than anything, taking pride in where we live and protecting it and keeping it safe and secure.
Sheriff, your last word to the community?
Well, I want to say thank you to the community and the people here in Macon County, especially for believing in what I do. You know, I've been here 2 terms. And
You are definitely well respected, I tell you
well, I
that.
appreciate that. I've been here two terms and getting ready for my 3rd term, which will be starting in January. And I just want to say thank you to the community. And I want them to believe in what I'm doing. I want them to know that everything I do is for them. You know, it's not for me. I'm trying to think of ways and to build relationships here in our community with outside communities, with outside people. I'm trying to build respect for our sheriff department and our county by being an honest sheriff who's here to help anybody and everybody that needs it. You know, I'm trying to build all these things that's positive for our county. Everything I do is for you. And I'm not going to do anything crazy and stupid. I'm not going to do anything to embarrass our county and our community. I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I love my county. I love my community. And I appreciate all the respect and all the love I get from everybody.
And Sheriff, what do you want the people to do? The people have a serious role in carrying this community forward. What can they do to make the Sheriff's Department's duties and responsibility less stressful?
Well, I think Mr. Charles Clark said it, you know, pretty well. You know, we need everybody in the community to be part of our law enforcement. You know, our eyes and ears are here at this department. We are riding around, but your eyes and ears are there around these crimes. You know, we don't have many criminals that commit crimes right in front of us. You know, we need your eyes and ears out there to report these things and tell us what you saw and what you've heard about these crimes. You know, we need everybody working together. You got to remember that nobody is, what word I want to use, everybody can be a victim. I say it like that. Anybody can be a victim.
Absolutely.
You know, even you, anybody can be a victim. So don't just say this can't happen to me and I'm not going to get involved. You know, we need everybody involved. We need everybody eyes and ears out there to make this thing happen. You know, we have these murders, we have these breaking and enterings, and most of the time somebody have knowledge, first-hand knowledge of what's happening, what's going on. So please, you know, report it to us. Tell us what's going on, because you are our eyes and ears out there. And we can't do this without you. We got to be one community, one village, to make sure that our community is safe, to make sure that we minimize the victims of these violent crimes, these victims of these breaking and entering and everything. We just have to work together. And I want the community to know I need you. Just like you need a sheriff department, we need you. So let's work together to keep our community safe.
And I'd like to suggest to the people to stop being so fearful. You know, I can't tell on John because he may harm me.
Right.
And the fact is, no weapon formed against you, if God is for you, can do you any harm.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you
true.
just sit by being afraid and just let stuff keep on happening, then you are embellishing the criminal's actions.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So stop being so afraid and stand up. Have audacity.
That's right.
You know, have self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Have character, courage. And let's help stop some of this killing in this community.
That's right.
Because we've got to replace hate with love in order to make a difference here. Would you agree?
I definitely agree with that. And I just got to say this, Chief. You've been in law enforcement for a long time. You were the chief here. You did a great job. But I got to tell you, I really appreciate what you do here. You are one of my deputies, and I don't know if everybody know that. Some people don't know that. But I just want to tell you, I appreciate everything you do for this community, because you always out there reporting. You're always getting the news. You're always passing it along to people. You're always letting everybody know what's going on in this community, which is very, very important. But like I said, you're one of my guys, and they don't know that you're also out here protecting them while they're asleep, while they're at home, whatever they're doing, you are always here, man. I just want to tell you, I appreciate that.
And in a country style way, and ain't scared of nothing.
Well, that's a good thing, ain't it, brother? You right about that.
That means I am not afraid of anything.
Not afraid of anything, my
All
brother.
right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.